So it's my birthday week, so I've been thinking a lot about aging. And this is also inferred because this longevity tech is suddenly everywhere these days. There are companies talking about slowing down aging, reprogramming cells, extending how long we stay healthy. And it makes me wonder something that I haven't really thought about. What does growing older look like when technology starts interfering with the process itself? So, there is real science behind this. Some researchers are testing new ways to reset certain cell functions so they behave younger. Others are trying to clear damaged cells that build up as we age. And at the same time, companies are developing tools to monitor and predict age-related risks earlier than we ever could before. The science, it's impressive. But aging, it isn't just this medical process. It's also how we understand our lives moving forward. When you change the biology, you eventually change how people think about aging altogether. But isn't that the whole point? People want more healthy years. They want to stay mobile, avoid disease, and keep their independence. If technology helps with that, I don't really see a downside. So I'm not against people being healthier. I'm asking what happens when aging stops being something that's universal. If some groups have access to these technologies and others don't, the experience of aging, it splits. And that changes how society works, not just how biology works. Inequality is always an issue with new medical technology. And over time, it usually becomes more accessible and more available to more people. This doesn't feel fundamentally different from other medical innovations. It just happens to target aging instead of disease. But aging, it's the one thing that everyone, or let me say, the lucky people get to go through. If technology changes that, you're not just managing your own health. You're changing expectations about when people work, retire, start over, or step back. That affects families, workplaces, economies, basically everything. But even without new technology, people are already living much longer than the previous generations. We're already having to rethink retirement, caregiving, and how long people stay in certain roles. Maybe this just accelerates a shift that was kind of happening already? Maybe, but there's another layer. Aging also shapes how people make decisions. Knowing that you have limited time influences how you prioritize things. If technology changes that timeline, people may start making different kinds of decisions altogether. Could you maybe give me a little bit of a clearer example? Something practical and not philosophical. Because right now, people might still think that it's abstract. What exactly changes in someone's life? Okay, so think about planning your future. People make big decisions. Jobs, relationships, savings. Based on how long they expect to be healthy. If technology extends that healthy period by 10 or 20 years, those decisions, they shift. Suddenly, normal timeline isn't normal anymore. And I'm not done. And when some people can afford those extra timelines, some people actually can't. Technology is increasing at a rapid rate, maybe quicker than people can actually save or governments can provide pensions for. And what happens is you land up with two different versions of adulthood and old age. Not because people chose differently, but because technology reshaped what was possible for some, but not for others. So the real question isn't that we can slow down aging. It's actually what happens when we start changing the timeline that people build their lives around. And who gets to benefit from that shift? Because that actually affects more than just health. Exactly. Aging has always structured how we understand life, responsibility, and change. If technology moves those boundaries, everything built on them, they move too. And I don't think we've actually recognized what that means. And it's a little bit scary because it feels like the 3-year-olds these days need to start planning for their 150-year birthday, because how are they going to make enough money in the 40 years that they're working to live the 150 years? Scary, no? Thanks for coming along in today's episode. Aging is a difficult one. No one likes to get older. Actually, you do like to get older until you're actually old. Then you don't like to get any older. Because life, I think, becomes a little bit more difficult. Anyway, I wish all of you good health and long aging. See you tomorrow.